Hello traders, welcome to the weekly Outlook Setups volume 206. Iliya here tuning in, and you know what we're going to be doing in this video, having a look at the market, how it developed this week, what kind of opportunities we had, and most importantly, what we can expect for the upcoming week. So in two words, this week didn't do much, and we had some very important news. They came out, but pretty much like the CPI and everything that was said was a little bit neutral. So pretty much you can see it within the price, like there wasn't any real big push or really big like impulsive leg. It was just like up and down, and then the market kind of continued with its overall flow. But it was a very choppy, very consolidative week, mainly for the USD pairs. Personally, I took a break even on Monday and I took a half loss on Friday. So kind of a very boring week, but of course, we knew that it's going to be like this, also knowing that we're trading into August, okay? So of course, we're going to jump into the market right now, have the analysis, have the forecast, but again, just keep in mind the markets are slow, they're kind of sloppy, and of course, we're going to be looking forward to trade during September. So without further ado, make sure you're subscribed, turn on the notification bell in order not to miss all the amazing videos that are going to be incoming very soon, and let's right now jump into the video. Alright, as usual, we're gonna get started with a Dixie, and of course, before we do that, let's have a look at the economic calendar first. So Monday, we pretty much have no major news at all because I have filtered only for the major impact news because those are the most important ones. And on Tuesday, we have a European bank holiday. So probably London is going to be slow. And then you can see we have quite a couple of high impact news right there. So like GDP for the end, RBA meeting minutes, Chinese news, right? GBP, USD and CAD, like a very big basket of news right there, except for the euro. So Tuesday could be a very interesting day. Wednesday, NZD day. So NZD monetary statement, monetary policy statement, interest rate decision, press conference as well. CPI for the pound. So Wednesday, if you're trading the GBP, you gotta be careful in London session. Then we have GDP for the euro, and on top of that, FOMC minutes, which is very important. So again, Wednesday, we have a lot of important news. Thursday, not as much because pretty much, yeah, the Aussie is gonna come in 4:30 in the morning for me, and then pretty much the day continues as usual, and just a little bit of retail sales on Friday. So yeah, Tuesday does look a little bit busy, but yeah, retail sales, I haven't really seen the market react a lot to retail sales, so I don't think Tuesday is going to be like very mad, but Wednesday is going to be mad because we have CPI for the pound, GDP for the euro, and FOMC minutes from the FOMC pretty much, right? So keep that in mind. Wednesday could be the volatile day. Now, going back to the markets, I mean, nothing changes this week, so it was rather boring. So I'm really going to try to keep it very simple because if you have been, of course, following the analysis so far, you know how we go, right? Weekly time frame, broke structure to the downside. We're pulling back right now towards this supply. And we said that overall, we do believe that the Dixie could potentially go bearish, right? However, let's not forget that we are in a bullish monthly trend. So if I just take it the fib from the low to the high, and why does it keep drawing fibs like this? There it is. We're below the 50%. We filled in the only imbalance that was existent right there. So of course, that could possibly mean we are going to be heading up. And you can see it has been like since February. If you just actually look at it, like since February, we have been chopping around, right? So is it cooking for something? What is it cooking for? We don't know. But right now we are retesting weekly lower high supply. Now, dropping onto the daily time frame, the trick about the daily time frame is that this is the daily range, right? There is no structural liquidity, there is no nothing, there is just pure imbalance. So the market will usually want to go in and fill in all the way towards the last one. So there it is. We actually came in, we filled it right there. We had a response, but you can see that response failed to push the market lower. So that immediately means that this becomes liquidity, which was just taken on Friday, okay? So we came in, we took this liquidity on Friday. So right now the question is, okay, what happens next? Are we going to flush down or are we going to persist going into the upside? So now a little tip from me is if you have a zone that does not have any structural liquidity within right here, but only has pure imbalance like this, usually the market is going to take a lot of liquidity when it comes into the zone. Okay, so what I mean by this, so let's say that this was a zone, then this little guy right there becomes your liquidity, right? It becomes your structural liquidity. Also, a lot of people call it inducement, right? So when this high is taken, there are a lot of Pretty much there is a lot of liquidity above, which then fuels the move down. But when you don't have anything right there, there is nothing to fuel a move down. So the market will have to engineer its own liquidity. And you can see what happens. The market comes in, higher high, higher low, higher high. It makes a trend change. And at this moment, we think, all right, the market is ready to commit to the downside. It kind of gives us one more push down, but then it just retraces back and starts to chop and chop and chop. Gives us another sign it wants to push down, but then at the end of the day, it just comes in and takes out the high. So right now, the key will be, right, so we had pretty much very, very tricky price action, right? So like we had a break of structure here, then we had like a wick out here, then we have like a break of structure here, pullback, higher low formation, we have a break of structure right there as well. The market took liquidity right here. So of course, just basing it on structure, that is the most recent higher low formation. That's my major higher low. That's my current range. So what I'm going to be looking for is either for the market to pull back and hold for a long setup, or for the market to make a trend change, come back from the other side to retest, and then potentially to head lower with the daily trend. So like the question is right now, after this liquidity grab, will the market be ready to commit to the downside, or will it continue pushing up? Maybe actually shifting bullish on the daily. Again, we don't know. CPI is over. It kind of gave us a very mixed reaction. So right now we really have to allow the market to show us what it wants to do. But again, just keep in mind August, very low volume, very low volatility. So it might continue to chop around. But let me know in the comments, do you think the dollar overall is going to get weaker and continue with the daily trend? Or do you think we might expand to the upside? Okay, let me know, but those are the two outcomes that I would be expecting. And once again, I'm just going to be monitoring and flowing with the markets and changing my bias accordingly. Next on the list is my favorite Mr. Euro USD, which did not do nothing this week. So pretty much once again, same old story. Break of structure on the weekly time frame. We have a weekly demand zone right there, similar to what we have also on the Dixie. The market has been retesting it already for 3 weeks, kind of giving a wick right there. This week is overall bearish, you can see, but there is no strength. Like this month started already 2 weeks in, there is no volume, there is no clear moves. And then of course drop to the daily and look what you have, right? So that is a complete choppiness right there. Wick up, wick down, wick up, wick down, wick up, wick down, right? But still, like the daily range starts from here, it ends right there. The market pulled back, it filled in all the way to the last imbalance right here. And at this moment, we started expecting bullishness, right? But you can see the market came in, reacted, it failed to push, came back, tried to push again, failed to react, and right now it's coming back down. So it kind of makes me think something similar to the Dixie is going to happen, that this low right there could actually be utilized as liquidity. Because as I told you, so if you watched the whole analysis on the Dixie, hopefully you did, when there is pure imbalance within the leg, when there is no structural liquidity, the market does tend to engineer its own, right? And you can see right now, this low could pretty much well become liquidity, because there are probably a lot of people trying to long this market right now, but you can see on every attempt for the market to push up, it just keeps failing, right? For example, here we had like a breakdown, then we had a break up. We thought that from here the market's gonna push up, but no, it came in, it wigged the low, right? It wigged the low, then you think, oh, okay, the market's gonna go down. Nope, it came in, took out a high, right? Took all this liquidity here. That was a lot of liquidity right there. Then you think, okay, we're finally bullish, right? I personally drew this demand zone right there. The market comes in, reacts, whoop, breaks below it. Like, it's just nonsense. It's just a very big chop. So just based on the daily, I do have a feeling we could come down and take out this liquidity, this low as liquidity. And then from there, is the market going to continue pushing down? That depends on the Dixie. Or is the market going to reverse and then finally continue with that daily leg? We don't know. Okay, so right now, if you just solely focus on structure, that's the most recent lower high right there. That's the most recent break. That is the most recent range right there. So again, I will be looking to work within this range. If you pull back, get a short, cool. I will be looking for it. I will be looking to take a short, targeting towards this liquidity. Because I mean, right now, the fall is bearish. But if we are just extremely objective, just look at it like this. And what's that? It's a consolidation. And what you have within the consolidation, you have the middle of it. And I want you to see like how the market kind of oscillates between the middle. It goes above it, comes back below it. It goes below it, comes back above it. Goes above it, comes back below it, right? So that is just a pure range. So once again, be careful. Zoom out a little bit. Look at what is actually happening right now. There is no clear trend. This is a chop. Okay, so be careful, because as you start marking structure within this overall consolidation, you're just trading the consolidation. Okay, so again, guys, give it some time. But of course, show up every day. Let's see what we can have. This is currently what I think is going to happen. I'm personally going to be looking for this low to be taken as liquidity. Or if the market eventually decides to like impulse into the highs from here, then I'm going to be looking for the reversal or pretty much the continuation of the daily. So of course, that depends on the Dixie because the Dixie already took that high. Right, so EU, is it gonna take this low? Well, maybe not, because there could be divergence. So again, watch closely the Dixie and watch also EU. So when it comes to my trade, I only took one trade this week, and that was on Friday. Last day, the market did provide a little bit of a setup, but again, it played out in the most choppy manner ever, right? So I was bearish overall. The market took out the Asian high. It gave me the bearish signal. It came back. I went to the 1 minute right there. Took the trade after the trend change. So the market gave a trend change, came back to retest, kept a very big stop loss. Like instead of placing it like this, I actually decided to actually keep it bigger. And yeah, the market reacted, came back to break even. I didn't manage to break even at that time. So the market then came in, grabbed liquidity, then it flushed. So after this flush, I reduced my stop loss, then it hit my stop loss. And then it hit TP. But again, it is what it is. Sometimes this happens. So I took pretty much a half loss on this one because my stop loss was around here. So half stop loss on this one, and pretty much that is my only trade on EU for this week, which really sucks. And again, I showed up every day, but there were no setups to take. So with that being said, let's carry on. Unlike the USD pairs, maybe the JPYs did a great move. Let's of course have a look at them all. Starting from EJ, we're having a very nice bullish week right there, right? And we are actually having like a weekly break of structure right now, which I'm just gonna mark with Forex because I don't have a weekly break. The market pulled back. It did fill in all the imbalance right there as we analyzed last week. And although like I do believe the daily was bearish, we said again, higher time frames always prevail. The weekly is bullish. It filled in weekly imbalance, so we can start expecting the market to take out a high, which is what happened. So right now, as we take out a weekly high, of course, we can start potentially expecting a pullback. And then if I just jump on the daily time frame, that is not only a weekly break, that is also a daily break. So let's just mark it up like this, daily break, right? So I would personally take this as my daily higher low, right? And we can of course draw a daily range. We can ask the question, is there like any imbalance right there? Not a lot. I mean, there is a that is very, very, very tiny, right? There's something that the market could be looking to rebalance, but it's very tiny, right? So the push was nice, broke structure. So right now we can start looking for the pullback. But let's have a look at the Forex and how the 4-hourly range is looking like. Well, we had a little bit of a kind of choppy development right there on top. So we can say that it's a little bit shifted to the downside. And this being a supply. So I'm just gonna throw this out there because it's actually valid according to my rules, right? So what I see the market doing right now is coming back to retest and then potentially pushing down, or straight flushing to the downside, or breaking up, TC down, and then potentially going down. Because again, when you have a weekly high, when you have a daily high, the market is high, so it would like to pull back. Okay, how do you know that a pullback is starting? Well, when the lower time frame, so for example, if a daily is a high, then how do you know that this high has formed? Well, when the 4-hourly shifts down. Okay, so right now I do think like it's not very clear, but we had a high, the market pulled back, it took it out with a wick, and then it broke down. So it really depends on how you consider like structure breaks and stuff like this. But I would personally just entertain this as a potential trend change, so we can potentially look for a short from this supply. So let's see, right? I would be looking for a pullback. This market is overall bullish. Okay, so bullish. So if it starts also like there is a fourth outcome, if it starts trending up, you can continue to flow with the market. Okay, so you can see like there's so many things that could happen. And again, like there was a comment that said like, well, you gave us all the potential scenarios and then you're going to say you're right on one of them. I mean, that's stupid, right? This is not what this video is all about. This is all about like educating you how to analyze, showing you what I think, and then of course you drawing your own conclusions, right? But pretty much this comment wouldn't be made from a trader who actually knows what trading is all about. Okay, it's not all about like saying, okay, the market is gonna do this, that's it. Okay, so then when you get fixated on this, right, and then the market then breaks above, you're still gonna kind of persist doing shorts, you're gonna get emotional, you're gonna get panicked. No, stay open-minded to all potential outcomes. So that's pretty much EJ. I drew all the outcomes. I would expect for the market to pull us back a little bit. So let's see if that happens. But of course, if something different happens, stay tuned for Tuesday. We're gonna have a look at it. Let's have a look at the Aussie. So starting from AU, the market has been bearish for 4 weeks in a row. So again, where is it potentially going? Well, we can immediately say maybe this high, this low. Because again, is there something left within right there? Is there going to be some sort of demand to just stop the market all of a sudden and reverse it all the way up? I don't know, possible, but I don't think so. So again, keeping this in mind, and if you start dropping onto the daily time frame, well, the tricky part about AU, which is absolutely tricky, is that still this is the daily low and that is the daily high. Okay, so you can see like there is that little slowdown right there, but I don't really think this is valid structure. So from this low to this high, the market pulled back and it failed to cause a high, which means that all of this right there is internal. So then of course, if this higher low failed to cause a high, it becomes liquidity. It came and took it, but it took it with massive pressure. So it doesn't really look like a liquidity grab because the market came in, lower low, lower high, and just continues dropping lower. So let's just keep in mind that we're in the absolute extreme of this big daily range. But again, is it gonna hold? I don't think so. Like it really needs a lot of steam to kick in right now because yeah, we're just tapping the very extreme of it. And you can see like the market taps into the zone, but that was the lower high formation. The market just pulled back, it held from the lower high, and then it just dumped, right? It made a new structure break. Then of course you ask the question, what did cause this structure break? Well, it was this little guy right there. The market pulls back, it tries to hold, it fails, and it comes in and sweeps everything, right? It took out this high, it took out this high, and then again you can see it sweeps everything. Then in the next moment it is reversed down. It's reversed down. Then here we do have a valid lower high formation. There it is. So currently this is the situation that we are in, which kind of sucks. I don't like it. So, I mean, you really have to ask the question, like, is the market really going to reverse from here? We don't know. So if we just solely focus on structure right now, this is how it looks like. Pullback and a potential continuation. If we form like a trend change from here, that could definitely mean longs because again, keep in mind the daily is still bullish, but I mean it has been bullish since for the whole June. So the whole June here pushed up, then whole June here, the whole July here, and right now it's already August and we're still inside this daily range. So that is rather strange because that is a very big kind of a consolidation, but of course on the 4-hourly time frame it did give quite some opportunities. However, right now we're in this very delicate spot, so let's see what's gonna happen. This is how I look at the market right now. Potential shorts, but of course if you break above, then I would be definitely looking to entertain longs, right? If it cause a trend change, but again, you see what happens when we have a trend change up. We had it here, just wicked up, and then it still went down. The momentum is really to the downside, so I don't see any longs. I don't see any buyers in this market, so I'm just gonna say short bias for now. Let's see how it goes, and of course, let me know what you think about it in the comments. Now, AJ should be a little bit more bullish. Well, weekly push, weekly pullback, fill the imbalance. Still another inside bar. Like again, you can see after this candle formed right there, we're having like 2 inside bars right now. So that is a pretty big range, right? And on the daily time frame, well, yeah, this one is still trading within this very big internal price action. So again, that's the daily low, that's the daily high. All of this is internal, and it gets even more internal with those inside bars and stuff. So here, like the last imbalance was this, which kind of got filled. I mean, I would count this one as filled. So we would be potentially looking for the market to shift to the upside. I mean, just dropping on the 4-hourly time frame, it's just not good. I mean, just look at this, right? So went down, went up, like it caused some sort of a trend change right there. This does look like to me also like a bearish trend change because that looks like a valid higher low formation. Lower low, lower high, lower low, boom, 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 boom. It's just tough. Okay, so it's just tough. So what I'm just gonna say is like the most recent piece of price action is this break. We have this demand zone. There is a little bit of imbalance right there that just got filled. Okay, we're also below the 50%. So I'm just gonna throw a long scenario right there, right? So long scenario, just drop to the lower time frame, and you can definitely look for longs on this one. Just also basing it on the JPY sentiment, which we saw with like EJ, it was very bullish. AJ right now, it definitely looks more bullish than bearish. We're gonna check UJ at the end, but this is my outlook for AJ, which does not resonate with the outlook for AU, because you can see AU is clearly bearish right now, while this one is yeah, it's just choppy, right? It's unclear, but yeah, so those are the Aussies. Bearish on AU, bullish on AJ, not very good in terms of correlation. Let's see what happens. Next on the list are the NZDs, and we can immediately see that NZUSD is much weaker than AUSD, right? Because we already have that weekly break of structure right there. So we just made like a weekly lower low. So yeah, again, after taking out a high, right, we think it's going bullish, then we go in, take out the low, we think it's going bearish. I wouldn't be surprised if we start returning back up right now. So again, we took massive liquidity below this low, so we can of course immediately start expecting a potential pullback. And then yeah, dropping onto the daily time frame, it's rather straightforward. There is a break of structure on the daily. That is the daily lower high formation. The market kind of broke below it. It came in with a big wick, then it impulsed to the downside. There does look to be like a very tiny little imbalance right here. So then of course dropping on the FOH. The 4-hourly range is also very straightforward. It's from here to here right now. There is also that daily imbalance we drew right there. It also very nicely corresponds to this 4-hourly zone right there. So this looks rather straightforward. As we just broke this massive low, I would expect a pullback. Okay, so I would expect for the market to pull back 50%, then give me the setup, and then potentially continue going down. So this looks like a very straightforward setup. Really hope it goes as planned, but yeah, short bias on the NZD. Let's see how it plays out. I would expect this pullback because we just took out this massive liquidity low. Wait for the pullback, wait above 50% imbalance to be filled, and then potentially look for the short trade. So let's see how this one goes. Very clear. NZD-JPY, well, with this massive bearish NU, I don't think NJ is gonna be very bullish, and yeah, you can see just another choppy week. Daily time frame is, oh, my brain just kind of went on a circle after seeing this price action. So yeah, I mean, broke down, broke up here. So the last higher low on the daily is here, and the market is right now chopping inside it. 4-hourly time frame, ooh. My mind went on another circle right there. Look at this. Yeah, but technically also on the FOH, yeah, it does look like the 4-hourly range is the same as the daily range. So we're trading between this low and this high. And all of this is just internal stuff, internal structure. So again, guys, just be very careful with this one. I would just skip NJ. I would just skip it because we're trading in this big consolidation right now. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, and you're just going to be losing. Okay. Nothing very clear. Of course, you can capitalize always on intraday opportunities by utilizing liquidity and just intraday target levels. But when the hard time frames are choppy, that immediately reflects on the lower time frames as well. So watch out. NZUSD looks much cleaner for short, but like NZD-JPY is just very choppy. So if you trade this one, then either look to trade another one or just give it some time. Okay. And right here we can see what is causing the overall JPY strength. That is USDN. We're having a beautiful bullish engulfing candle right here, which does also suggest that the Dixie can potentially also continue going higher. I really start thinking that we might actually continue going higher. So then all of the USDs are actually going to shift bearish, because as we saw like with the Aussie, it's going down very fast. NZD is going down very fast, right? EU is also kind of going down, not very fast though, right? So it really depends on what's going to happen. But if you start linking the correlation and like looking at USD yen right now, actually making a weekly high, oh well, almost, right? It does feel like the dollar has a lot of strength. So dropping on the daily time frame, well, I mean, the daily is tricky because daily high, daily low, and the market is just about to take out that daily high. Okay, so I really don't think it's gonna hold right there. We're just coming in so close. So yeah, this just, if it would have been much better if we take out a high, because then we're gonna say, okay, massive high was taken, then we wait for the pullback, higher low, and then potentially we continue. So this is pretty much what I would expect to happen, right? It's gonna be a very big surprise to me if the market from here just starts going down. Okay, I really do think that this high is could be taken. And yeah, right now, just to keep it very simple on the FOH, there's a break of structure to the upside. There's a demand zone. So if maybe before we take out this high, we pull back a little bit, you can definitely take a long trade. And then usually basing it on liquidity, if we take out this massive weekly and daily high, the market could potentially start initiating a pullback. So then of course you drop to the daily, the market made a high, you draw your new daily range from here to here, you spot the imbalance from here to here, and also one above, and then we wait for the pullback and then start going long again. So let's see. I do think that this high is being taken, as I said. So if you manage to get a long trade, then definitely do so, targeting this high. But if the first thing that happens during the open is to take out a high, then be careful, because the continuations might not have a lot of probability, because there is going to be a lot of liquidity above this high. So we might have it taken, TC down, and then maybe we initiate a daily pullback, which could also be supported by the strength of the weakness of the Dixie. Because the Dixie can start retracing back now, because remember, it's still bearish, right? So again, August is just all over the place. It has so many moving parts, and it's very hard to draw like a very precise bias, okay? So let's see what happens. I'm just gonna keep it as it is right here. There is the current setup. It's as simple as it is. As soon as we take out this high, then just start monitoring what's gonna happen. Are we gonna have a lot of weakness coming in, making a forward trend change, or are we gonna continue like pushing with strength? So then you can, of course, continue following that strength. So again, flow with the markets. Let's see what's going to happen. Let's just have a very brief look at USD CAD. So once again, after taking this liquidity right there, which consisted of quite a couple of lows, this, right? It's a very nice ascending trend line right there. We can definitely expect a pullback. So the pullback is right now happening. Okay, and it's looking rather bullish. Dropping onto the daily time frame, we had this very sharp reaction to the downside, but then of course the market ended up breaking it up, creating a daily bullish trend. And like you can see, for the last couple of 8 days right there, the market has been very choppy, pushing into the highs. There is no clear momentum, there is no clear strength, right? And pretty much I would say the last demand is right there. And then dropping onto the 40 time frame, the last structure break is right here. That's the last demand zone, and the market has been chopping within this range since Monday. Monday made the push, and then we just chop inside. So what is going to happen next? I don't know, because that is USD CAD, and it's one of the worst pairs you can be trading. I'm joking, guys. I know some of you are loving this pair. Personally, I hate it, right? But yeah, we came inside the zone. So like on Thursday, you can go here and examine if you could have taken a long, but that definitely doesn't look very good. It was probably during news. It chopped up, and right now it's chopping exactly in the middle. So like the question is it gonna push up, or is it gonna fail pushing up and then cause a hourly reversal and then maybe take us back down into the daily? Those are pretty much the two outcomes that I see. Either a continuation to the upside, or like just breaking this to the downside, coming back to pull back on the daily, and then from there we can start having a high probability long setup. So guys, in the comments, let me know what you think about UCAT. Those are my two outcomes, but again, I am not touching this pair. Extremely boring week for the pounds, mainly GBP USD. So you can see on the weekly time frame, we're having an inside bar right now, very low volume candle, once again sitting inside this weekly demand zone. So is it gonna hold? Is it not gonna hold? We're yet to see. Daily time frame, came in, reacted, came in, reacted, came in again, reacted with this very big wick, but again, nothing happens. So the daily time frame is still bullish, trading between this low and this high. So we're coming into the very, very, very extreme. Like if you take this zone to the very extreme, so everything is tapped right now. So now is the chance to either reverse or maybe break structure to the downside. And then dropping onto the 40 time frame, just once again, just if it's just the first thing you see, the first thing I see personally is this. What's that? It's a range, right? I also see another one right there, right? So again, nothing happens on this market. We broke down, we broke up, we broke down, we broke up right there after chopping for quite some time. I mean, yeah, the range on this one was from here to here. So the market came in, pulled back below the 50%, it chop around, took out the high, which we did expect, I do believe, in the previous outlook. And then immediately as we took out the high, we came in, we took out the low. So currently, if you just focus on structure, that's the lower high supply. That's your hourly range, right? That's your imbalance right there. The market did already feel the imbalance. It hasn't tapped the 50%. So we can either flush from here to take out the low, or we can pull back to tap the 50%, tap into the zone, and then get a short from here. So there are my two outcomes on GU, but once again, it's just very choppy, it's very consolidative, so be careful. We do have some news for the pound next week, in fact the CPI for the pound, so that can definitely be the catalyst for a move on this pair. So watch it out, and again, just keep in mind we are just ranging right now and we're failing to push away from that daily zone. So something is cooking, so watch out for it and be careful, but this is what I would think is going to happen. And of course, we're going to have an update on Tuesday to see if something happened on Monday. GJ. Oh, this one is very good. So you can see that actually the pound is strong, because like USD JPY is strong, and as the pound is overall strong as well, we can see like, for example, the euro is strong a little bit more than, for example, the Aussie, and EJ made a high. However, Aussie dollar is very weak, so AJ chopped around, right? NZUSD is very weak, so NJ chopped around, right? But when the pound is stronger, right, you can see that its JPY pair is actually making an impulse. So daily time frame taking out the high, and right now we have a brand new higher low formation on the daily. Not a lot of imbalance right there. Well, there is. So we have a daily break right there. And yeah, so what's going to happen? Is the market going to continue, or is it going to initiate a daily pullback? Well, you have to follow the hourly time frame. So right now this was a high. It didn't get taken out. It didn't take it out. So we're still trading between, yeah, so that's the high. So sorry, that's the low, that's the high. Oh, man, this is just tricky. It's not good. So I would prefer for it to take out a high and then look to focus on the new range. But if it doesn't take out a high and it starts pushing down, then of course you can look for the long from here. So those are the two outcomes that I see. It's also possible we take out a high and then make a trend change to pull us back into the daily time frame. But once again, this is just reading way too ahead in time. And you have to just learn the skill to follow the markets in order not to stress like about all the scenarios. Okay, so that's what I think could happen on GJ. Let's see, I would prefer this option for us to take out a high and then to draw a new range and then to see if it's gonna hold from this range or maybe cause a TC. But of course, if we start pushing down from here, then this is gonna become liquidity, take it out, and then from there we can start looking for the longs. So again, two outcomes on the GJ. Let's see what happens. Well, the dollar persists with its strength, which means immediately that gold is going to persist with its weakness. So we're coming in once again deep inside this demand, which once again, this is not a very strong demand because it didn't really cause like any break of structure, like very strong break of structure. So again, it's very 50-50. It's going to hold from there. But then of course we dropped to the daily time frame. Once again, we took a lot of liquidity from here. We did the line bearish on the daily here. So daily lower low, daily lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So we just keep trending down on the daily. All right. So that does look like it's the last daily break of structure. We're just going down. There is not really a lot of signs that the market is going to hold from this level. Okay, so it's just purely bearish. And then of course, dropping onto the hourly time frame, well, it's also very bearish as well. Like there is another structure break right there. The market pulled back into the supply, held from the supply, another break of structure right there. The market has a brand new supply right there, and the market already pulled back into it, pulled back above the 50%, just kissed it. And right now it's most likely on its way to be making a new lower low. So two situations here. We either take out the low and then flow with the most recent range, just as we did. Or if the market maybe throws a little wick to the upside right there to grab more liquidity, then we can still look for the shorts. Okay, so that is pretty much what I expect to happen on gold. We're coming in very close to this low. So again, like, I mean, if I just look at it very objectively, yeah, this can be potentially a strong demand zone right there to consider. So yeah, let's see. Let's not try to force it way too much. Right now, the momentum is just to the downside. So of course, you are gonna know if gold is gonna go bullish because it's gonna turn bullish. And like if you just look at the quality time frame right there, it has been bearish since here. Like since we made this trend change, bearish, 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 bearish. Here we came for a little liquidity gap, bearish, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, but it just goes down and down and down. So there is absolutely no reason for us to look for longs right now. We can look for longs if something like this starts happening. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep with the shorts right now. Those are the two scenarios that I see right now. Let's see which one happens, and of course, flow with the markets as usual. And let me know what you guys think about gold in the comments. Well, the indices were also rather quiet and choppy this week. I did expect a little bit more because we had like CPI, we had some news, but once again, we can blame August for it, right? We had this beautiful push on the weekly time frame on US 30, and right now we are kind of trying to create this pullback. We have a lot of imbalance to fill to the downside. We have the 50%, so I still like believe that we could potentially push down a little bit more. And then you can see like on the daily, however, like the daily is still bullish. That's the daily low, that's the daily high. So all of this is going to be internal daily structure. But of course, then we can immediately look on the foliage. But just dropping on the foliage, I mean, look at this. Right, this is not only, it's like a a triangle, but it's a consolidation, and it just wicks up and wicks down and wicks up and wicks down, and it gets even more compressed. So I mean, what can I say about US30 and how I can analyze it? It's gonna be tough. We took out the low, right? Took out the high, then we took out the low that caused to take out this high, and no. So I am not actually going to analyze this, okay? Because I cannot, right? I don't know where is the supply, what is it doing actually. So let's give it some time. Let's hope it plays out. It definitely looks like the summer month is getting very slow for the indices, and like you can see, US30 is just chopping around. So again, do you want to trade this? I don't think so. I don't think so, because even on the 50-minute time frame is very, very, very tricky. So give it some time, let it exit this consolidation. Personally, I do think we have more downside. So if we start seeing like a clear trend, then absolutely fine. But right now it's just wicking up, it's wicking down, it's oscillating between like the middle of this range. So that is a pure consolidation. So I'm not going to be drawing any structure, and I'm just going to be looking for clear price action. Now, Nasdaq does look much better. Why? Well, because here we have a downtrend. Just have a look. Right, this does look like it's going down a little bit, but it's just a chop. This one is a downtrend. Now, weekly time frame made a high, is right now pulling back. Well, it does look like it's right now about to tap inside this weekly demand zone. So it's going to be really key to see if it's going to hold from here, because if it does not, that is going to unlock a lot of downside. So we can start filling in all of these imbalance areas right there, which would be really nice because we can buy some stocks down there. The daily time frame is from here, so we're just about to maybe cause a daily trend change, because that's the daily low, that's the daily high. We're coming back, so we're reacting from imbalance again, reacted, tried again, reacted again, still keeps pushing down. So let's see. I mean, even Nasdaq is not very clear right now in terms of the daily and the weekly. Okay, it's just about to cause maybe a daily trend change. But then when you go to the 40 time frame, Baroque structure down, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Here it's kind of swept the lower high, but then immediately it went down. So that's the last. No, it's not the last. We had a structure break, pullback. We have a structure break right there as well. So that's the most recent supply right here. So yeah, pullback, continuation lower. Let's see if it's going to take out the daily low, either as liquidity or just make a trend change, and then to see if it's going to continue going down. So that's Nasdaq. Rather bearish right now, just moving down the 40 time frame. But again, I just don't see the liquidity here. Like, the liquidity is definitely going to be this low. But then again, after this low, are we going to start hitting higher? Or are we going to continue breaking lows to the downside and seeking the imbalance right there? Well, potentially, like, the monthly time frame can also tell us, because the monthly is very impulsive. So it really does make sense for us to have a nice bearish month in August, and then maybe even a bearish month in September to fill in some of that imbalance, and then maybe to resume the bullish trend. But that is just, again, thinking logical and making a lot of presumptions. Okay. S&P, very boring. We took with the team a break even on Monday on this one. But yeah, daily break, push down, pull back. It's not even clear whether this is like a daily structure right now. It's just not good. It's just not good. I will definitely consider this to be a strong demand zone. Why? Well, because you can see here we had a very nice sell followed by a very massive buy, which is most likely like a daily zone, the weekly zone right there. So if this level fails, then of course, as I said on Nasdaq, this can unlock potential downside, right? So then of course, dropping onto the 40 time frame. Yeah, this one also maintained a rather bearish trend. And right now it's making this guy right there, which is very compressed, very, very, very compressed. So I don't really want to say that this one is going to hold, but this is currently the structure we have. It can definitely like push up a little bit, grab some more liquidity, and then rush to the downside. Why I do think we can have some more downside is based on the fear and greed index, because we have been in greed for quite a long time. And you can see the market is running away from the 125 moving average. So we are bound to come back to rebalance at some point in time, and then to potentially resume with the uptrend. You can see extreme greed. We have been staying within this region right there for quite a while. The last time we dipped was in October, right? Then we had a little dip in April right there. And since then we have been just pushing up, right? Stock market breadth also very high. And you can see this one just goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down, goes up. So what happens right now? It goes down towards the middle. So this is why I really do think transferring this onto the charts, like in terms of the daily time frame, I do think we have a little bit more downside, like towards to filling like all of these levels right there, and then to resume the uptrend from there. So this is my kind of macro outlook. I do believe shorts, but again, you have to watch out for the intraday liquidity levels in order to capitalize on that downtrend. But again, summer months, very slow, watch out. Okay. Bitcoin and Ethereum, again, you know, guys, that I don't trade crypto. I'm just looking at them like this on the daily time frame, but they are getting rather choppy as well for quite a long time. So for the crypto traders, let me know if you're trading crypto and if you find it extremely choppy. Okay, now let's throw a little bit of a recap. DXY tapping inside a daily level. We are currently looking to see whether the market is going to continue going higher and maintain its strength, or is it going to continue, or is it going to make a trend change to the downside on the voyage and then start getting bearish, which is definitely going to determine what is going to happen with the other pairs. Euro USD is in a very big chop right now. The most recent structure is bearish, and I do believe this low can get taken, because you can see on Dixie it got taken, but on EU it did not. So it's either going to reverse from here. If the DXY becomes bearish, EU is going to reverse bullish from here and start trading higher. But if the DXY maintains that bullishness, right, this one is going to come in, take out this low, and then from there we're going to see what's going to happen. JPY, Euro Yen, definitely we can get a short as a pullback trade. Aussie dollar bearish, but tapping into the last resort for potentially for the daily to hold. The JPYs, so AJ and NJ, I don't suggest to trade those, right? NZUSD is definitely bearish. Just made the new weekly lower low. We'll be looking for a potential pullback to the 50% and a short trade. USD JPY is definitely bullish right now, traveling towards making a new weekly high. So after we take out that high, we can start expecting a potential pullback. Okay. UCAD, I have no idea what this one is doing. GBP USD, also very choppy. So this one is very 50-50. Make sure to be waiting for the CPI for the pound, which is gonna come in on Wednesday, August 16th. GJ more bullish than bearish, right? Gold bearish right now, so trading in a very nice bearish downtrend. So again, we keep shorting until we're wrong, and indices are overall choppy, so I'm very afraid to kind of throw any forecasts right there, because also it doesn't make a lot of sense for me. So guys, let me know, how did you perform this week? Did you take any trades? Did you take any losses? Did you take any wins? How did it go for you? What are you looking for next week? Are you actually going to be trading? Let me know what you think. And yeah, this is from me. Talk to you on Tuesday, slow with the markets, and I wish you an incredible week ahead. And always remember to trade safe, because we're trading into August.